Hello, everyone. Yes, we are live today again. Want to welcome all of you to today's live session. So, guys, without any waste of time, we want to go into what we have for today. And looking at our screen, you can see what we have there, all eyes on the judiciary. Honestly, this is one of the trending hashtags on the internet because obedience are not, they don't want to lose sight, in demanding for their rights. We all know that we believe that we won this election. And so, guys, so many people have been wondering, as in, why are Nigerians very focused? It has never happened. The extent to which people are really focusing on the judgment that will be coming soon from the tribunal. We all know that Nigerians, they are waiting for the judiciary to declare Peter Obi as the winner of this election, knowing that Peter Obi won this election and he has proven it in court. And that's why they are like calling on the judiciary to dispense justice. But before we dive into this topic, I want to share with you guys a video where Datti Ahmed spoke about this hashtag, all eyes on the judiciary. Just let's take a look at this video and then we are going to continue.
They will come
from
out,
there.
hold INEC, control INEC, control the security, control the judiciary. That is why they are telling you go to court. People are afraid to mention courts in civilized societies. The moment you mention court, he will say, okay, what do you want? That is the truth of the matter. We are heading, like I told you, when everything is at stake, and right now everything is at stake. My country is at stake. So I'm ready to deploy everything I can within the Constitution, not to let.
Yes, that's Datti Ahmed speaking on the judiciary. He's like saying that in other countries of the world, the judiciary is well respected, but that's not the case in Nigeria. That's why people are like fixing their eyes on the judiciary, that despite the pressure they might be experiencing now, they shouldn't succumb. So, Doctor, I'll be bringing you in at this point to like analyze this video and let's take it up from there to go into other topics that we have for our audience.
There is one. Good evening, people. Let's start there. I've not been around for some time now, and I know I've been missing a whole lot in action, but we are back. What the Labour Party vice presidential candidate said is a very simple thing. How can someone charge you to go to court when they did not do what they're supposed to do? It's like an armed robber came to your house, robbed you, and you're screaming, and he told you, if you don't like what I did, go to court. What is in the court that is giving him confidence? Is it that he's in control of the judiciary, in control of the judges, or what? Now, looking at it from the perspective of our electoral process, when the court hits the gavel and stop, when we say go to court, it means the judiciary in its totality and the whole legal process. When they hit the gavel, that's the end. It means that even someone in a broad daylight that stole something can now parade himself as honorable, parade himself as your excellency. And so, if our court acts as a place where criminality is validated, then it is dangerous for us. If our court becomes a place where shortcuts are validated and endorsed, if it becomes like a laundering machine where the dirty laundry of their political process and machination comes in and it comes out clean, then it speaks of danger for us and the future of democracy in Nigeria. I was listening to a documentary today about the French colonies in Africa, starting from Senegal all the way to the Sahel. And as I listened to it, it became obvious why, because the person was saying, why is it that currently in Niger, they are only asking French nationals to leave? They're asking French. They're against the French people, not other nations. Why are the Nigerians against this particular country? Who should actually be the people protecting them, being their former colonial master? And that was where the documentary started. It means that there is only so much you can hold someone down before the person will reach his or her elastic limit and break. There is only so much that politicians can manipulate, rob, and rape us in Nigeria. There is only so much they can do until the eruption begins to happen. Because a whole lot of things are happening. I saw a video this evening. It is a very gory video that we can't even post. A woman who drove to Third Mainland Bridge in Lagos this evening, parked and came out of her Lexus and wanted to jump into the lagoon. Fortunately, people were there. Frustration. People are frustrated. People are getting choked. Life is being squeezed out of people. You know, there is a friend of mine that the son is studying overseas. He was talking to me the other day. Ordinary upkeep allowance that before they could use about 1,000 naira to get the value of $2. Now you're going to spend almost 1,000 naira to get the value of $1. And all these things are happening. And the so-called people who are asking us to go to court, they are not even parading themselves as if they care. What is happening to us does not even matter to them at all. And then they are asking the billboards to be pulled down. All eyes on judiciary. The question I want to ask is, what is actually wrong with that statement? Are all eyes not on judiciary? Are they not the people who ask us to go to court? Do they expect us to go to court and not keep our eyes watching what is happening in court? It is confusing that someone raised a billboard just simply written, all eyes on judiciary, and then you're pulling it down. What is wrong? What is inciting? If you have something that is as important as your country that is now before the court, will your eyes not be on it? What was that statement they made? They said, put your egg in a basket. Somebody said, put your egg in a basket and keep watching the basket. All our eggs as Nigerians are in a basket called the judiciary. So where do you want us to keep our eyes? You want us to keep our eyes in the Senate where they are sharing holiday allowance, or to keep our eyes in where other than the judiciary? The judiciary is just the only hope of the last man. And then you want us to keep our... I don't know for those of you who are Christians, but if you're not a Christian, there is a statement that says in the Bible that wherever your treasures are, there your heart will be. The future of Nigeria is in the courts. That is our treasure. There is no other place our heart will be except where our treasures are. If you have your relation that traveled and is coming back, every now and then, if you hear any bell press, you rush to the door because you be think, oh, mommy is back, oh, uncle is back, oh, brother is back, oh, daddy is back. Our treasure is with the court. All our eyes must be there. Our feelings, our breathing. Today, all through this week, you can't believe it, what I've read. This week, I went back again to read the Supreme Court judgment on the case of Dr. Chris Ngige versus Peter Obi. I'm just reading everything about the Supreme Court rulings before to see how they formulate their argument and how they reason, and to say to myself, how are they going to rule in this? That is to tell you that my whole eyes are on the judiciary. They don't need to pull down the billboard. In fact, pulling down the billboards actually made that particular hashtag to trend more. They made it to trend more because people who were not interested now became interested. You know? So our eyes are on the judiciary. That's what I have to say about that. You know, I know there are plenty of other things that have happened this week, a whole lot of things. This week is a very busy week. Has been a very busy week. The week ending today has been a very busy week, and I hope within the few minutes we have, we're going to trash all of them. Like for instance, have you heard Bagudu? You know Bagudu, the new man they have now designated for the Minister of Budget and Planning. Do you know who the man is? This is the same man that was Sani Abacha's front man. He was the same man that was helping Abacha to launder his money, to launder Nigerians' money. Raw cash that was brought out from the central bank. He was the same man. And today, in fact, somebody put it this way in an article that I read today, and it was just so annoying, so annoying. Let me put it this way. It says, our Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, how crime pays. How crime pays. Bagudu was a known associate of former Nigerian dictator Sani Abacha, who was accused of stealing more than $2.2 billion of public funds during his 5-year tenure as Nigerian president in the 90s. Bagudu was arrested and extradited from Houston, Texas, at the request of Jesse, where Bagudu had set up a shell company called Doravile Properties to launder funds stolen from Nigeria. And this is the man you give our budget and planning. This thing is on the internet too. It's not as if somebody could, if you go to the Wikipedia now and type the name Bagudu, this thing will pop into your face. A man with this history is our minister. Not just a minister, but the Minister for Budget and Planning. So he's the person who will plan the future of Nigeria for us. He's the person who will appropriate the money for us. You see the reason why our eyes must be on judiciary to deliver Nigeria? Because this team that is coming, okay, was it not in this platform since last 2 weeks that we've been talking about Lateef Fagbemi? This is the same person who signed the APC's final written address. The address he signed, the final written address he signed and was adopted, the judgment has not even come out. And they're going to make him the Minister of Justice a day after tomorrow. They will swear him in. They will swear him in as a Minister of Justice. Meaning the budget for these judges, the salary of these judges, the housing allowance of these judges, the vehicle allowance of these judges, and let me add, the holiday allowance of these judges will pass through his desk before he gets to the presidency. Is that not technically compromising the judiciary? Why is the mainstream media in Nigeria not even seeing it this way I am seeing it? Why are they not picking these particular holes? That this is Supreme Court that they are already gagging. To be honest, I believe it. These people are already gagging the Supreme Court. Because they may have seen that what they presented at the appeal court is a watertight case. But they have also been smart. They have realized that the final call is not going to be made at that trial court in this case, which is the appeal court. So they're already preparing the ground to choke the Supreme Court. And we said it here. We said it here. So when they say that, when they themselves in government are saying that that just by putting a billboard, all eyes on judiciary, is putting pressure on the judiciary, we can comfortably tell them that we understand the way they are putting pressure on the judiciary by picking a lawyer who was standing before a judge less than a month ago and making that lawyer a minister over the judge. Are you getting what I'm saying? So that is it. By the time they were swearing the president in, by the time he won the election, he knew that 29th May he would be sworn in. If he didn't have ulterior motive, why not say, hey, guy, I know you're a good lawyer, but I am thinking of making you my Minister of Justice, so stay away from this whole thing. Conflict of interest. Doesn't it look like this is a conflict of interest? That is my own analysis of this whole situation. I think that these people are already manipulating, gagging, using a body language to tell the Supreme Court what to be and what to do. So, my fellow Nigerians, if there is any time we need to put our eyes and watch the judiciary, it is now. And to me, watching the judiciary is what I am saying now. We should begin to highlight the implication of making a man like Lateef Fagbemi the Minister of Justice. We should begin to highlight it and raise it and say, this man is already a compromised person. He's going to compromise the judiciary. He has interest. He has interest. This is a man who is pushing for a sitting president not to be removed. And now, all of a sudden, you picked him and skyrocketed him and make him the Minister of Justice so that he will have a first-line communication with this justice of the with the Chief Justice of the Federation. Until now, he may have to go through some protocol before he speaks with the Chief Justice of the Federation. But from Monday, just a redial button from his office will call the Chief Justice of the Federation. And as a Minister of Justice and Attorney General, the Chief Justice of the Federation has every reason to listen to him. And do you think, Nigerians, please, that he's going to conduct his affairs impassionately without necessarily referring to his interest in the tribunal? So what is the role of this man that will become the Minister of Justice in influencing the Chief Justice of the Federation, who will select the members of the panel that will sit in trying or hearing the case that will be brought to them around October this year? That is my thinking. You may call it a conspiracy theory, but to be honest, that's the way I reason. I may be wrong. I'm not saying that anybody told me that is what will happen, but I'm just saying that my little brain, that's the way it functions. I'm trying to piece these two things together, and it makes sense. All right.
So, Doc, thank you very much for really breaking it down for everybody to understand. This is really one of the trending topics, that have been there on the social media platform. So, guys, we've now known that it is very, very important for our eyes to be on the judiciary. No matter what they do to make us lose focus, we shouldn't lose focus. I think now is even the right time for our eyes to be on the judiciary, because any little mistake this time around, I don't know, it will take forever to fix Nigeria again. That's why we all have to stand up and ensure that the judiciary does the needful. So, Doc, one of the trending topics again, that trended this week is that of Atiku going to the United States requesting for the sitting president's academic record. Well, he does not want them to release that record. His lawyer, we heard that his lawyer equally went to the United States to stand on his behalf. So they are like, the United States shouldn't release those records. So I don't know what you have to say about this. And why do you think Atiku had to take this step, even when the cases in courts have been closed, as in nobody still has that chance to present any new argument in court? So why did he take that decision at this moment? And of what importance is it going to be?
Atiku took that step, but before I came to Atiku, let me ask. Whilst I was growing up as a young boy, then in primary school and secondary school, there's something they usually tell us in the morning assembly. I don't know if they still do it today. the principal will come, and then they will make statements like a a clear conscience fears no accusation. I don't know if we're still familiar with those statements. Now, I am a president, and the whole social media said that I have a questionable personality, that I have a questionable record. And I am pushing that my record is straight. And then someone wanted to go and dig up my record that is held somewhere. Is that not an opportunity? In fact, under normal circumstance, it shouldn't even be Atiku himself. It should be the person in question that would have rushed to that place and say, this is my record. Here it is. Now remember, Wole Olanipekun SAN, who represented the president in this trial, said that they submitted to the court the academic record of their candidate. Am I right? So the question is, if they have submitted it, which means the public record, which other one held by that university are they now saying
they shouldn't release?
Has Nigerians ever even asked that question? And that is the reason why Atiku was looking for it, because Atiku is preparing to achieve two things. Number one, to cause uproar in the system, even in the minds of the appeal court judges, even though they have closed their evidence tendering. But he wants to make it public to Nigerians that what these people have is a lie. And then he wants to come over to the Supreme Court to file a cross appeal that they lied by saying that they submitted the record, that the authentic record was not submitted. My learned judges, here is the authentic record. Now that they have used the amount to say that they submitted the academic record, why are they blocking the university from releasing what they say they have submitted? Are we even reasoning it that way? They said they have submitted this person's record. And now they are blocking the university from releasing the record they say they have submitted to the court. Remember that when they submitted it, they served Atiku. Because every evidence you tendered in the court, the person you're challenging in court will have every right to have access to it. That's why they were able to say that when they're doing cross-examination, of witnesses, you remember, they will say, did you write this? Did anybody write it for you? Can you read paragraph this? Did you write? Do you understand? So it means that the academic record that they submitted in court, which Atiku has at the moment, does not convince Atiku that is the authentic thing that happened. And that is why now he's going to look for the authentic. It's either he brings one to say, compare it with what was submitted and say, okay, fine, this is true. Or bring it and say, no, this is not true. So it makes a very healthy legal challenge. And as you can see, Baba Ahmed said, all globes are out now. Everybody's following every legal constitutional means to pursue. And we don't know where it's going to end. But I also want to believe that if I say that I am credible, I shouldn't even make my opponent to go and challenge me. I will bring out everything to clear my name. Is it not true? It should be in my best interest to bring everything available to do what? clear my name. So that's it.
Yes, Doc, thank you very much for that beautiful contribution. Honestly, you said something that is really very, very striking. As in, it means that they must be hiding something from the public. If they claim they've gotten his academic record and they presented it to the courts, why are they now telling the US not to release this particular one that Atiku is requesting for? Meaning that actually they did not really provide the public with the right document. So would there be any would there be any consequence, assuming that
there is a big consequence? There is a big consequence because they used their mouth, they committed themselves in the court by saying that they have the academic record from the university. If the university by subpoena provides anything contrary to that, it means they have lied again under oath. And remember that it is whatever they submitted it on his behalf. So it means that they lied to the court. It means that what they brought is another Oluwole upon Oluwole. You know, like they used to say, you lie first, you have to lie again to cover the previous one. So that is it. It has consequences.
Okay, on the part of the United States, do you think that will equally have any consequence if maybe they submitted a document that possibly did not emanate from them?
You know what happens in the judicial circle? It is what you press that is responded to. But one thing I do know is that remember that what Atiku was initially pushing was that the certificate submitted to INEC is not the certificate. It is not the copy of the certificate that was issued by the university. But now, Atiku is going further to say that it is even more than that. That it is more than that. That because our law says minimum of school certificate, which is SSC or equivalent, or there are conditions, there are other conditions set out. I was listening to a program today where someone listed all those conditions, and as it were, he did not meet any of those conditions. And if Atiku is able to establish that that certificate that led him to gain admission in this particular university is not his own, it means that not only did he not meet the criteria to become president because he did not attain secondary school level, and he did not include in his form other qualification other than the BSc from the university. There is also the possibility of Atiku presenting even the issue of what? Impersonation. So Atiku is pushing for everything, for everything that is within his reach to make sure that this thing, and it will be nice for all of us, let's get to the bottom of this thing. Let's either confirm that this guy is who he say he is and let him rest and do his job, or let's confirm that he is who the Nigerian people think that he is and let him leave them so that do you understand what I mean? Head or tail, let this whole thing come out in public. Let's know where we belong, period. Wait, excuse me. Is the name of this lawyer Oluwole? Is it the real name or is it just?
I believe this is the real name. This is coming from People's Gazette.
I don't even know the meaning of the word Oluwole anyway, but you know that Oluwole.
Okay, yeah, you made mention of it.
Yes. Oluwole is associated with fake certificate in Lagos. You know that. I think there's a street in around Marina, that is known as Uluole Street, near Idumota Market, and they do all kind of forgery. They print money, they print certificate. When they give you a Uluole certificate, there it could look better than whatever you can get from anywhere. But it's someone's name, but I think it is just attached to that street. It's like something of that nature. So, but it's funny that it's coincidental that Uluole is going to go and fight to make sure that what we think is the Uluole certificate is not happening. What a good one. Okay, please, let's move on. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Doc, before we go ahead with the next topic we want to discuss, I equally wanted to ask your take on Wike becoming the minister for the the FCT. Sorry, I don't know. What do you think, and what picture are you looking at? If Wike, okay, he has already been named as the minister for the FCT. You know, so many
Yeah.
people have said that he's there for the opponents, like Buala Dane, he made mention of that. Some people said he's going there in case if the judiciary should request for a rerun so that he'll be there as the APC man to coordinate things for them. You know, there was this controversy concerning him emerging as the FCT minister. But for the benefit of our viewers who are just joining us, who've been deliberating on this video of Datti Ahmed, linking it up with this hashtag, all eyes on the judiciary. So let me just quickly play that clip, and then, Doctor, you come in to give us your thoughts on Wike.
They will come out, hold INEC, control the security, control the judiciary. That is why they are telling you go to court. People are afraid to mention courts in civilized societies. The moment you mention court, he will say, okay, what do you want? That is the truth of the matter. We are heading, like I told you, when everything is at stake, and right now everything is at stake. My country is at stake. So I'm ready to deploy everything I can within the Constitution, not to let.
Yes. So please just come in, because Nigeria is just a society where we've reduced the judiciary to almost nothing. Like you heard him say, in other societies, in other countries, the judiciary is well respected. But in Nigeria, any little thing, the politicians will tell you go to court. The INEC chairman told those that were aggrieved, if you are not happy, if you are not satisfied, go to court. And you can see the whole process all this is taking. And with the latest development, the people that have been placed, to be the FCT minister, the minister for justice, and all that, you can see that honestly there is an underground work going on at the moment for them to retain power. Because we all know that Peter Obi won this election, and left for the judiciary alone. I mean, the judges, if they are to stand on a neutral ground, I believe that they are going to declare Peter Obi winner of this election. But because of the powers that be, because of the powers that be. So that's what Datti Ahmed is trying to say, that in other places, when you mention judiciary, people are scared. They were like, what do you want? Let's settle it. But in Nigeria, it is the other way around. So, Doc, just take us through your thoughts on Wike and link it up with this judiciary issue.
To be honest, let me tell you, there are 1,001 versions of Wike's, of the reason why Wike is made the minister of the FCT. I saw somewhere where somebody says that, and this guy is he's a PDP man. He said that if Wadata Plaza, that they should make sure that the C of O is perfect too, because Wike is coming with his vendetta and he's going to revoke that property. Now, if you look at all the analysis people have given about Wike, it's more or less not for a good reason. And it is unfortunate. Oh, he's being kept there so that he can help APC manipulate election if there's a rerun in Abuja. Oh, he's been sent to Minister of Federal Capital so that he will revoke the property of people whose lands were not well allocated, and all those things. So the question we should ask ourselves is, why would someone be associated with that kind of perception? Is that just the best thing people could have about you? So why can't people say, wow, okay, at least of all the people that were brought out, at least this person is a round peg going into a round hole. I am not saying that he's not intelligent, but if people associate your intelligence with enmity, with vendetta, with destruction, with manipulation, with cutting corners and usurping of rule and order, it's not good. That's all I have to say. But going on the issue of going to court by the politicians, remember Mike Igini, former commissioner in INEC, he kept saying it, that the electoral process in the United Kingdom used to be as dirty as our own, but the judiciary stood their ground and made it stop. That it is the judiciary, according to Mike Igini, that judiciary is the arm of the government that is enabling these people. If they're not enabling them, it won't be, because we already know that the legislature are professional politicians. They eat, they drink, they sleep, they walk, they run politics. What they do is politics. They win election. From the day they won the election, they start planning for the next election. We also know that the executive, they are the baba, they own the cake. They have the knife to cut the cake, and they are also politicians. The judiciary is the only arm of government that seems to be people who grew and rose through the rank and file of professionalism, where the lowest cadre of the member of the judiciary is a graduate, first of all, who has bachelor at law and has gone to the law school for another 1 year to be called to the bar, and have then gone to NYSC to serve the nation for 1 year before they are deployed to start practicing. And before you ever become a judge, you would have accumulated many years of practice. So these people are supposed to be impartial, neutral people who should make sure that these people who do not have any, when politicians come close to you and sing your praise and clap your hand, it is not for anything except for you to endorse them and push them through their political machination and thinking. And so if our judiciary will even go beyond the technicality, because I was reading the INEC reply, final address for the Enugu State Governorship Election Tribunal. I was reading the reply of INEC. Do you know what INEC was saying? INEC was saying that the NYSC staff that came to testify, that his written statement was Abdul, but that they just noticed that in his ID card, it is Abdul, that the L is not there, that they do not believe that he's from NYSC. Okay, you do not believe. Did you consult NYSC to say, we think someone is impersonating you people? You didn't. So the question is, if our judges begin to fish and snoop and sniff technicalities that they will use to knock down a petition, then the judiciary will begin to look like they are compromised. Because even without coming into the court, all of them, from the Chief Justice of Nigeria till date, they knew that this election was a mess. They knew that it was a mess. In their own polling booths where they voted, all those judges, what happened in their respective states? They knew. So if the judiciary will not go start snooping and sniffing and checking for and fishing for technicalities they will use, then our polity will be cleaned up. INEC and PDP in Enugu State is telling the judges to abandon the testimony of NYSC. NYSC that said we did not issue this certificate. Rather, to take the testimony of someone who said that he is a staff of DSS who did personal investigation. And he wrote his report in a plain paper without the letter-headed paper of DSS. And INEC is telling the judges to trash an NYSC staff that came with the letter-headed paper of NYSC. And I am asking myself, which judge will look at this? At the High Court in Abuja, INEC, at the High Court in Abuja, NYSC went to the INEC in Abuja and was submitted every document that shows that the certificate, NYSC certificate, the person in Enugu State is parading, was not issued by them. They showed the court the certificate that this person was supposed to collect, which he did not collect. They showed the court, and remember that the man sued NYSC, claiming 20 billion. I don't know whether he has been awarded the 20 billion or not. And then NYSC showed the court again where he's supposed to sign and collect his certificate that he did not sign. And PDP, being represented by the same Wole Olanipekun SAN, said that that should be trashed. Instead, the judge should take the statement of someone who purported to be a DSS staff, who wrote his own report on a plain paper, not a letter-headed paper. So, what are we waiting for in a place like Enugu State? I pray that the judgment of Enugu State comes out earlier. Because if it comes out earlier, it will help give us an idea on how the amount of sleaze or how clean our judiciary are these days. But the truth of the matter is that if a politician asks you to go to court with boldness, it means that he has his cover in the court.
Yes.
That's my summary.
Yeah, thank you. Now, let's look at the economy. You made mention of a woman who wanted to, jump into the lagoon. Thank God she was rescued. And what we have here on the screen is a landlady, bathing her tenant with hot water mixed with pepper because she couldn't pay her rent. Nigerians, that's where we are today. As in, the state of the economy is biting on almost everybody, both the rich and the poor. The only people who are not feeling it are the politicians, as in they are covered because the taxpayers' money, is servicing them, is taking good care of them, themselves and their families, their wards, every one of them is being taken good care of. But the Nigerian people who pay taxes, they labor, they get this money, they pay their taxes, they are the ones suffering the current situation in Nigeria today. And like we all know that the president has said that he's going to be giving, I think, 5 billion to each state to alleviate the situation that Nigerians are going through today with a truck, I think, whether 5 trucks of rice or so. But, people have argued that this money will just end up in the hands of our politicians. It won't get to the people. So when you see things like this going on, I don't know, personally, I feel pain because I've come with this conclusion that this government does not even know what to do again. You know, looking at the current state of things, they don't know what to do, as in they don't have any idea on how to arrest the current situation that Nigerians are into. So you can see the effect of it. And let me share with you guys this video, because during campaign, Mr. Peter Obi was always making reference to countries. He was giving us figures. He was telling us why we have to emulate some countries who have equally had the kind of experience that Nigeria is going through today. And they've come out of their own, what they did and how they were able to get to where they are today. That was how Mr. Peter Obi was carrying Nigerians along. But look at how the current president reacted to what Mr. Peter Obi was saying at that moment.
I think now statistic we go chop. A lie with arithmetic that never, no Indian can solve it.
So, yeah, Nigerians, you can hear it for yourself. And you can see those of them around him laughing, because some of them have not even handled the business. They've always been into politics from their young age until now that they are aging. They are still there. Either they were once a chairman, local government chairman. From there, they moved to becoming senators and all that until where they are today. And when he made this statement, you heard them laughing loudly, as in.
But did you hear from the background? Someone said, "Go and verify." Now, Nigerians, we are verifying by experience. Nigerians, today we are verifying by experience. And to tell you that these people are a bunch of people who do not know statistics. 5 billion for one state. I am removing the FCT. Multiply 5 billion by 36 states. That will give you 180 billion. All right? Now, we know we have more than 100 million poor Nigerians. Because Nigerians were captured as so extreme poor nation. If you say 5 times by 36, it gives you 180. That's 180 billion. Now, if you now say,
yeah,
let's say that 100 million Nigerians are well-to-do, but what it means that what it means when you say that 100 million Nigerians are well-to-do simply means that every 2 Nigerians you meet, one of them is well-to-do, which you know is statistically incongruous. But I am saying, let us assume that is only 100 million Nigerians that are extremely poor. If you now say 180 billion divided by 100 million, it will give you 1,800 naira. So, Nigerians, the question I want to ask you is, do you think that these people knows anything to do with number? What the president, remember, I did not include all the people living in Abuja. If I include the people living in Abuja, it means that they won't even get up to 1,800. So it means that the president is trying to say, I think that the people who are extremely poor in Nigeria is just about 100 million. The other 100 million can take care of themselves. And now, go and share 5 billion. That is an average of 1,800 naira. That is what the government is giving to Nigerians. 1,800 naira. 1,800 naira is not up to $2. It's not up to $2. And they are clapping. And they give you, how many trucks of rice did you say they are giving? So that's, if they give you them that rice, how are they going to buy the maggi that they will use to cook the rice? How will they buy the oil? How will they buy the onions? How will they buy the things they will use to cook it? Okay, they will use 1,800 to buy the maggi and cook the rice once, and that will be it. Does that even show you that we have leadership that are thinking or planning? Does that even make sense at all? Now, if we are to say all of us Nigerians were given that, we are given 5 billion, that is, the president is appropriating about 900 naira per citizen to alleviate the pain and what we are suffering. 900 naira is less than $1. And they are here saying that statistics we go chop. Finally, the chicken has come to the roost. Who should we believe now? The man that is dishing statistics with empiricism, or the people laughing at him and using him during campaign as the object of caricature. Whilst Peter Obi was moving around discussing Nigeria, discussing how to fix Nigeria, and discussing the problems that Nigerians are going through, others were very busy doing what? Talking about Peter Obi. Now, that's what we are suffering. We are suffering the negligence of Peter Obi's advice. We are suffering the abandonment of Peter Obi's competence. We are suffering the disregard of Peter Obi's capacity, character, and competence. And so, people, that is where we end tonight. And I want us to know that Nigeria belongs to all of us. If there is something I will want you to do, is to keep your eyes on the judiciary. And the only way to keep your eyes on the judiciary is not to curse anybody or to say anything to malign their character, but to keep reminding them that they should be the independent arm of the government, that should be incorruptible. Let them not allow the politicians that are occupying the other two arms to come and influence them and corrupt them. Let them stand their ground and be the conscience of our democracy and push back on this executive that is trying anything possible to infiltrate them, to use them, and to manipulate them. Until then, let's see again tomorrow with other issues that are impacting our nation. Thank you so much, and do have a good night rest. Bye.
So guys, sorry for that glitch. I was struggling behind the scene with my connection. So yeah, that is what we are seeing in Nigeria. We have leaders that we don't really have empathy. Like we've always discussed here on this platform, that one thing that makes Mr. Peter Obi different from others is that quality of empathy, feeling for the people. We don't see it in most of our politicians. And somebody said Peter Obi is like a book that every Nigerian politician should go and read. He's like a film or a movie that Nigerian politicians should go and watch. And honestly, that's just the case. Peter Obi remains very different. And he's somebody that really wants to see Nigeria survive, to see Nigeria move forward. But our politicians don't care. So you've seen it from all the clips we've shared with you guys that honestly, we must ensure that the judiciary gives us nothing but justice. All we are asking for is justice, and that is just what we want. No doubt they know that Mr. Peter Obi has presented reasonable evidence. He has equally called witnesses who have come to the court to testify, and they've all testified. They know that what is before them, there is no going back in declaring Peter Obi winner. And you can see that the power that be, as in, they don't want us to say all eyes on the judiciary. They've requested that the billboards be taken off, they should be taken down, but obedience are very resilient. They've gone ahead to print their t-shirts, their stickers, and all that. They are even going about sensitizing people on the need for us to stay focused on the judiciary until the ruling is finally given, until the final judgment is made public. So guys, we are going to be summarizing today's live session. We are going to be rounding it up at this point. I think we had connection problem. I really want to appreciate all of you for joining us in today's live session. Thank you very much for your time. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, turn on the notification bell so that each time we have a new video or we are live, you'll be notified. And give this video a like so that YouTube can recommend it for others to watch. I really want to say a very big thank you for joining us until this point. Please see you again tomorrow. Dr. Ete will be here to also analyze other things that we'll have to discuss with you guys. Please, until tomorrow, see you again. Bye.